Hi again, it's Richard Silver, and I'm from the Silver Burtnick and Associates Group at Sotheby's International Realty Canada. And I am now heading over to visit my friend Paul Ybarbo, who's with Sotheby's International Realty in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay. So, Paul, tell me what's happening, what's new?
Richard, always a pleasure to see you, and thank you for coordinating this.
Pleasure.
So probably the first thing to consider beginning with is, we very oftentimes use the term Bay Area,
Yeah,
and which is a very accurate term, but it's a very broad area that includes what we call the North Bay, the East Bay, the South Bay, as well as San Francisco.
yeah.
And I work exclusively in the city and county of San Francisco, California, in beautiful, beautiful San Francisco.
Great. So yeah, as a matter of fact, I don't know if I ever told you this. I think I probably did, but back in the early 80s, I had a house in Marin County in San Rafael.
I did not know that.
Yeah, yeah. I have a bit of a history with that area, and it's a wonderful area. I mean, I loved it. It was a great time in my life, and but times change. Anyways, tell me about the market that you normally serve before coronavirus.
So the markets that I serve have not changed
Hmm.
since the virus has become so prevalent worldwide. But what has changed, of course, is how we're reacting to it.
Yes.
Um, I represent buyers and sellers of single family homes, condominiums, co-op apartments, multi-unit buildings, all residential.
Yeah.
And so what we have adjusted to is our new normal, which is luckily relying on a very strong presence of virtual activity.
Yes. Yeah.
And gratefully for my listings, I've always done virtual tours, including professional videography as well as drone footage so that
Yeah.
people can get a perspective that are out of the area for the location, what it's near, what kind of neighborhood it looks like from 1,000 feet above, and to get a nice aerial shot of the city.
I'm very similar to you, and I'm always surprised when I see agents who put properties on the market with the worst photos and the worst video, and it's not professionally done, and no drones, and floored by the number of people who think that that's marketing a property. It's not in the vendor's best interest.
Well, and not to tout our own horns, but people are searching, before and particularly now,
Yeah,
people are online, and it's all about the beauty contest.
exactly.
So if we don't have the best photography, the best footage of a property, it's too easy for people in our day and age to just swipe and
Yeah.
move to the next, right?
Exactly.
So,
Swipe right, swipe left. Yeah, it's funny. It is all about being not necessarily being a good photographer, but having a good sense of what is good photography and the presentation and the. Now, do you stage a lot of your properties, or when you bring them to the market?
almost everything.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and in certain cases where a property is owner occupied, or perhaps tenant occupied, then of course we have to do some workarounds.
yeah.
But even with a tenant occupied, many times my clients have beautiful taste, uh,
Yes.
and it's just a matter of perhaps some edits to help enhance the property.
So
Because as I tell my sellers, we
yeah,
don't always live in our homes the way we would stage a home.
no.
And we want it to appeal to as wide an audience as possible. And to do that, we need to do a little bit of prep.
So tell me how your stagers, are they doing it virtually now? are they actually going into the properties? Can they physically do that now, or what's the scenario in San Francisco?
So we were just recently um, reclassified from non-essential to essential
Right.
services.
Yeah.
Gosh, that hurt my feeling when we were considered non-essential.
Yeah. I know the feeling. I think it was I think it was in regards to safety. However, I think what the governments have all figured out is that people, for whatever reason, do need to buy and they do need to sell. I mean, food, shelter, these are all the things that are important to us, and shelter is something that we deal with, and that if we were not involved in the sale or whatever, that people would just go outside of real estate and they would, you know, transact on their own, or possibly not do the staging, not do the marketing that we do. And I think that's why we've become essential services again. Yeah, we
Well,
were always in Ontario, we've always been an essential service.
lucky you, lucky you.
Exactly. But how are so tell me how your stager is now dealing with, you call her up tomorrow and say, I need to go stage a property at blah, 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 California Street.
We need to approach each new listing on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah.
And some stagers are very willing to accommodate seller's request, while others are not. They're
Yeah.
choosing to stay at home, shelter at home, and of course we have to respect that. It's all
Yeah.
about health.
Yeah.
Um, if it's in a single-family home, or perhaps a vacant apartment or a vacant condo, then that is again a case-by-case basis where we have to default to the homeowners association. And in one particular case, I can share that they are permitting movers, and of
Right.
course, is considered a moving activity. They are considered, they are allowing movers to enter the homeowner common area to deliver furniture or remove furniture, as long as they are required to disinfect and clean the common areas once they're finished.
Yes. And I think, you know, I was talking to our declutter and downsize diva, and she was telling me that, and she part of her business, or a lot of her business, is moving seniors from homes into residences because they're no longer safe in those residences. So, you know, that job is very important. It can't stop. So what she was saying is, you know, where she used to, you know, work on a senior's residence, as she normally would go up in an elevator and take people with her, she says she will no longer do that. She stays, you know, she keeps the minimum requirements. She uses the elevator if she has to, and she would not allow people into the elevator at the same time she's going up with things, just to protect them. So, and I think, you know, all the precautions, the mask, the gloves, everything is important.
Well, I don't know about Canada, but in California now, where it's highly suggested and encouraged that we wear some sort of protective um, mask, whether it's,
Mask, yeah. Same,
and
same.
not the N95 masks, but at least
Yeah.
something that would help prevent the spread of any airborne
I
pollen.
know. I think it's important. So tell me what you've chosen to do, because you're not at the present in San Francisco. You've chosen to move to the hills.
Indeed. I live in a neighborhood in the city called Nob Hill in a high
Yeah.
rise,
Yeah. And love it. Love it.
and I love it as well. And one of the things that I love is being able to look out my windows and see and hear the activity of the city, and cars and pedestrians and life
Yeah.
occurring.
Yeah.
And of course, that has all changed for all of us.
Yes.
And it was quite frankly, it was depressing to see nobody on the streets, no cars, and I missed it.
Yeah.
And Well, as long as I need to shelter, I might as well do it at my little place up in the mountains where
Yeah.
it's supposed to be quiet. So
Yes.
not as noticeably different here than it is in San Francisco.
So are you close to your nearest neighbor or miles away?
Not quite that much, but the lot sizes, they're 1/3 of an acre to half an acre.
Yeah.
So plenty
Yeah.
of space, plenty
It's
of space.
strange. It's strange. We've had this conversation a couple of times with people who, do the city, but also have a bit of country property. And it seems that the people with country properties for sale are going to be very active in the next little while because it is very, very busy. The people want to be out of the city and into a smaller community. They feel it's going to be safer. So it'll be interesting. So if I was in San Francisco and I wanted to buy outside, where would I go to? I mean, you're surrounded by hills. Are you
Well,
in Marin? Is that the area you've gone to, or you've gone on the other side? Are you inland or?
we have actually, we're very blessed by our location because we're so close to so many beautiful outdoor areas.
Oh, yeah, it's wonderful.
You mentioned Marin, and Marin County is one very popular destination because it's
Hmm.
so close to the city. And of course, we have our beautiful wine countries, Sonoma County, Napa County, and then even some new up and coming
Yeah,
winery regions in Central California.
right.
But then for those folks who enjoy outdoor snow sports, for example, we've got Lake Tahoe up in the
Yes,
Sierras.
I know.
So I'm in the Sierras.
Yeah,
I'm
that's nice.
I'm in between Lake Tahoe and Yosemite.
Wonderful,
So it's a little bit
wonderful.
quieter, a little bit off the beaten path, and that's precisely what I wanted.
Perfect. So I just want to tell you to stay safe and look after yourself and your family and everything, and keep in touch. I'm sure we'll be in touch again on a Zoom conference. And I just want to say thank you again to Paul Ybarbo, who is our San Francisco person. He's the guy who will look after you if you get transferred to San Francisco. I'll put you in touch with him, and many thanks. And we look forward to many, many years of meeting face to face in much safer circumstances.
Always a pleasure, Richard, and thanks again for taking the time to do this.
My pleasure. It is really my pleasure. I enjoy it immensely. Take care, Paul, and be safe, okay?
Likewise, thank
Thank
you.
you.